Yeah, obviously it's a significant milestone for myself and my family. I think I'm extremely proud for where I am today, from coming from playing a 2020 game at the MCG in front of 90,000 people to then be called up a couple of games later to represent Australia in the ODI format. I'd never thought it would come so fast. But look, I learned a lot over the early stages of my career of, one, how to play the game. You can't just come out and tonk it from ball one like in 2020 cricket. And I sort of adapted that approach through, I think, 4-day cricket and then playing test match cricket. It allowed me to actually play the game properly and show myself that there's a lot more time in 50 over cricket than what there was in 20 over cricket. So I think to be established at the moment from where I came, I'm proud of that. I've got a great bunch of teammates around me. Obviously Smithy bringing up his 100th game recently as well. We've come a long way from where we were as juniors. Not being picked, me being dropped, him taking my spot, etc. We've had a great friendship over those years, and for us to play 100 together is massive for us, and we're really proud of that.
David, it sort of felt like you went through a bit of a tough time, as you touched on there early in your ODI career. Was there a turning point or an innings where you felt like, not you'd mastered the 50 over format, but you felt more confident?
I think going back probably 18 months, I reckon, really felt consistent. I think playing Test cricket's allowed me to actually nurture sort of my game into 50 overs and take a bit more time, and try and bat through the middle period as well, not in such an aggressive manner, and just play the game as it is and let it unfold and set your platform for the rest of the guys coming in. And I didn't really think about that when I first came into the setup. We had obviously Pup, Smithy, Mike Hussey. You had these guys that were such good finishers. I just felt my role was to go out there and blast it for 15, 20 overs. And you don't realise that you're there to bat 50. So sort of the last 18 months, I reckon I've had such a consistent patch because I've actually learned to adapt that mentality while I'm out there. And if I get myself in to try and be there sort of towards the 35, 40 over mark and go on with it. And I think I've prided myself on doing that and setting a benchmark of 150 for any of us as an opener. If you get in, that should be the benchmark to try and achieve in your innings.
As you achieve a milestone tomorrow, do you think how do you rate this series so far on personal front?
On a personal front, well, it's my first ODI series in India. On the back of where I first got dropped, I was obviously in England, so coming here for the first time to play ODI cricket, it's been a bit different. Obviously 2 new white balls. The first 2 games were a bit different. Obviously a 21 over game, and then in Calcutta the ball swinging around, it was totally different to what I expected. That's probably the toughest conditions I've faced from a white ball point of view. It swung a lot more than what it did in England. But yeah, look, I think when you adapt your game to the conditions, last game was probably the game where it was traditional one-day cricket. The ball didn't swing as much. The wicket was nice to bat on, and I obviously didn't make the most of getting in. So that's probably a thing for me to reflect on, and hopefully I can bring it out here this game and go on with it. But yeah, as I always say, form is temporary, class is forever, and that's what I always live by.
David, when India came to Australia last year, they lost the first 4 games but won the 5th ODI and the 3 T20s. So Virat said that it was very important because at the end he felt it was 4-4. So how was Australia seeing this, having lost the ODI?
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing to lose the series already, but we've got a lot to play for. We're not just walking out there for ourselves, we're representing our country, and that's what we enjoy doing and love doing. So there's a lot of pride at stake. And obviously we've got a couple of T20s after this as well. So, we look at it as we've got to, try and make the most of the next 5 games to play and to win. That's what we set out to do. So, as you said there, that's how Virat looked at it, and that's how I think every team looks at it. You basically split up the series of how many games you're playing, and then you try and win the overall battle. Even though obviously the series is lost from the one-day point of view, but we've still got another 5 games that we can turn it around.
This is Narendra from Presters of India. Steve Smith could be really disappointed to have lost the series, but that could be another very big disappointment because Rodney Hogg, he has accused Smith of picking his friends in the national team. So how do you look at this development?
Rodney Hogg? So it wasn't Bradley Hogg? Okay. Look, everyone's going to have their own opinion, and they're entitled to their opinion. And you can, I don't know where they come up with these theories, but it's up to the selectors, obviously, to pick the team. And at the end of the day, we're selected to play in that, and we go out there and give our best. You know, a player can't help being picked or not being picked. You know, you just got to basically play the best of your ability, and if you do get picked, you go out there and give your best, and that's always how it's always been. You know, as I said, people can have their opinions, but you know, sometimes as a player, we don't even listen to that kind of stuff.
So in a fairly inexperienced Australian side, and you know you're one of the seniors now, so what role do you assume to bring in the culture, or even like a responsibility to sort of build that team spirit? Say you've done that with the Sunrisers, where you're one of their senior players, and you don't really have big superstars in there. So what is your role like in the Australian setup? Yeah,
for all of us, it's about having the intent and energy. We try and create an environment that's very happy, and we're a very family orientated setup, and that's one thing that we pride ourselves on. We look out for each other and we look after each other. So on the field, when it comes to training and being on the field, it's about representing not just yourself but the 11 that walk out there, and obviously the guys that are on the bench running drinks. We try and help each other out as much as we can, and that's the thing that gets us up and gets us motivated. We're such a tight unit that sometimes when things are going tough, we try and coerce in a way where we can actually go out there and do our best. We're always got a smile on our face. Yeah, the series is done, but there's a lot to play for, as I said before. So from my point of view, it's about making sure everyone's upbeat and energetic to go out there and play the best of their ability.
Just on a different tact, with the new ICC rules regarding the bat sizes, are you going to have to change your bat size?
Well, my bats have already been changed, so I've been using it for the last couple of weeks in Bangladesh, getting used to it. It basically is the same bat that I started my career with. I just took it down to my bat maker and said, we've just got to go back to what we started with, and obviously it didn't really affect me then, so I don't think it's going to affect me now.
But just like with obviously that was Test cricket, with the bigger bats, particularly in the shorter forms, do you think it's going to affect your mindset in terms of picking boundaries to clear and that sort of thing?
No, not at all. I think everyone's sort of been misled in a way where they think that the big bats clear the fences easier than what the old bats used to. So from where I stand on it, basically we were hitting sixes with the bats 5-6 years ago and still hitting sixes today. So in theory, in saying that, your bats got more moisture in the wood. The bats broke probably a lot more recently because there's less moisture in the bat. So at the end of the day, you just got to obviously use what you're given, and it's not going to make a difference at all.
David, when you came into cricket, you were a bit of a rare case. You said you got in with T20s, then first class, then I think you played Australia before you played first class. So and recently, Stephen Fleming, who coaches a lot of T20, said, have an attacking game, I'll teach you defence. Do you think moving forward players would come through like that, through T20, having an attacking game and then concentrating on defence?
Each individual is different how they approach their batting style. I was always brought up in that mentality to always attack, and my defence will take care of itself. I feel that if you try and apply the pressure early to a bowler and try and get them on the back foot, you might get your loose deliveries. And if you allow them sort of to get into a rhythm and you're looking to survive rather than actually score, if I play that way, I feel like I'm susceptible to getting out and losing my wicket. But other guys like to leave a lot of balls early in their innings, and that's how they get going. So, as I said, each individual is different. And if I was to help out any kids, I'd probably teach the way that I'm brought up playing. But as I said, each coach and each player and everyone's going to be different, so it just depends on the individual.
David, in the practice session yesterday, what was the role of the big dice?
The big dice?
Yeah, you threw huge dice, and then there was cheering and there was plenty of Positivity.
That's just a thing that we do inside our inner sanctum. You have to be invited into that. It's a thing that we do. It's a game. It's very silly.
David, 4 months ago when Australia arrived in Bangalore, it was probably the best situation for you guys. You had a 1-0 lead in the Test series, and now you're back with very little to play for in the ODI series at least. So how disappointing is the contrast in your arrival in Bangalore?
Look, at the end of the day, we're disappointed with the loss, yes, but we always come here with the right frame of mind. We're here to do a job. We're here to try and win every game that we come and face. And your disappointment lasts for 24 hours. It really hurt us. Obviously losing the Test series and from being 1-0 up and obviously losing this 3-0 down. So for us, it's about coming out and still trying to find a way how to be motivated. And we're always motivated come training, come game day, because we're playing for our country and we're doing what we love. So yeah, we come here with high spirits, always got a smile on our face, and look, we're looking forward to another